what's up? I'm gonna try to do some de-rusting before Junkyard Dave's event. Why are my license not showing up? Oh, okay, never mind. It's there. Alright. It's been quite a while since I've been able to do anything like this. So let's see what I can remember. Too early in some of these places. Quick delay, everything seems fine. And then I lose input. I think the hardest thing that I deal with when doing these runs is just being stuck in airman stage. Cool. Yeah, that's better. There we go. That's fixed. Minor issue. Nope. If I can get consistently through that part, that should be fine. Even if I had to take that damage every single time. It's fine. Oops. Yeah, what's up, Ancient Slayer? Yeah, I couldn't keep waiting around for the doctor's office to call, so I had to do something. So I said, I might as well do some Mega Man 2. I got a lot of de-rusting I had to do. It is the easiest speedrun. Like, of all time. It's also the most well-documented speedrun. And these airmans are not very good. I mean, it doesn't really matter to me. You're pretty far ahead of me in terms of consistent, gameplay to getting into that sub 30 area. I haven't even hit a sub 30 yet, but in a racing, kind of scenario, you never know what'll happen, right? Well, I mean, racing, you wouldn't be doing things like what I'm doing right now unless you're, like, very confident in it. Like, going for the ledge jump in Bubble Man stage, or going for the cloud walk in Airman, you pretty much, if you're not, like, 100% consistent with it all the time, then you're better off just doing pause buffers or skipping some things altogether. Yeah. Now, mind you, when I did my race with Arel and Rain Boss, I did insane strats. Because, well, you need to. When you're racing against people that are in the sub-29 category. I actually haven't heard anything from Dave yet. All despawn. See, this Airman is where I always get stuck. It's the most difficult one for me to see. Therefore, it's the most difficult one for me to stay consistent with. Also, input drops are not helping me right now. Like, I hit that drill a lot. I mean, it's a minor thing, but still. That wasn't. But yeah, right now I'm waiting on a doctor's appointment to get signed off on my leave from work. Once that kind of gets all figured out, you're probably going to see me on during daytimes a lot more. I'm not really going to have a whole lot that I can do during the time I'm off, so most likely I'll be spending most of that time dedicated to streaming and self-improvement. That and because that I need to, while I'm off on disability, I'm gonna have to try to make at least a little bit of extra money. Oh, once this ends up getting finalized, I'm gonna be on a lot earlier than this. Most likely I'll start stream around, let's see, I'm trying to think, time zones. Let me focus on this for a second first. That's a bit better. So once all the documentation and everything is signed off on, and I actually get the proper rest that I need in order to fully recover from this infection that I have, then most likely I'd probably be starting streams somewhere around 9:30 or 10 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. So I'll be on probably before Flecke and Arel. Probably roughly around the same time that Ashton's on, actually. But I'll also be streaming for, I'm gonna aim for at least 8 hours a day as well, so. Yeah, that's because I'm thinking he is on Mountain Time. I imagine he probably works night shifts or something. Or, I don't know. I know that he's on the West Coast, like way on the West Coast. But I mean, it all depends on what the person's personal schedule is like too, right? If somebody's working like night shifts and stuff like that, then they're probably going to be more prone to be on early in the morning than late at night. Also, if the person is even employed at all. There's a lot of people on Twitch that are on unemployed or disabled or on Veterans Affairs or whatever. I mean, in all honesty, that was one of the main reasons why I wanted to start streaming, other than the fact that I like playing retro games and stuff. For me, like, the whole streaming thing was meant to kind of build a bit of a community, because I knew sometime in the near future that I wasn't going to be able to work a standard job anymore. Oops. And I wanted to be able to have some source of income other than just disability checks, right? Also, I'm not a big fan of I'm not a big person who's a fan of receiving it, like, handouts. So, in my mind, and it's something that I have discussed with a couple healthcare providers and people in general, I keep downplaying my own disability because I don't want to feel like I'm being, like, a victim. You know, like what people do on social media in order to try to basically panhandle online is milk their or overinflate or even create disabilities in order to gain sympathy. And because of me seeing a lot of that stuff, it makes me downplay my own actual disability, thinking that I'm just trying to steal money from people, when that's not the case at all, that my disability is severe, and, you know, I need to come to terms with how severe it actually is. I guess it's... You hear the term coined or thrown around a lot, the imposter syndrome. And I don't know if that's what this is, but that's kind of what it feels like, that I'm telling a story that I feel I don't have the right to tell, even though I do. I don't know. It's weird. Either way, the plan is that I'll switch over to a full-time stream schedule once I get some things sorted out. Which I'm hoping happens very soon, because honestly my anxiety levels are through the roof. I've never been placed off work for as long as what I have been right now. And it came as like a two-parter for me. A two-parter as in, for the last 2 weeks I've been having to deal with this really bad viral infection. And goddamn, I keep jumping too soon there. that's kind of taken a toll on things too. At the same time of navigating being put off work because of well, work-related things that coincide and affect my overall health. But, anyways. Like, I want to be able to tell, like, some of my coworkers what's going on, because they have no idea what's going on. So, as far as they know, I could be, like, deathly, you know, ill in a hospital bed somewhere, but until the forms and everything are signed off on, I don't want to run any risk of saying or doing something that could be used against me, right? I don't know if jumping there is better than just falling off, or if it makes a difference at all. Oh, that's not good. Man, I got a lot of rust to kick off here. But where I live, like, on the Atlantic coast right now, it puts me in a good situation to be able to have a very early stream schedule. Like, I could probably even stream as early as, like, 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time and be perfectly fine. Jumping too soon. Maybe I do need to jump further. Oops. That's better. So if we end up racing, about what time, what date / time will that be on? I can't imagine being in the position that I'm in. No idea. I haven't been checked out by a doctor since it started, so... I can't say yes or no. Norovirus is going around here too right now. I imagine if it was the hantaviruses, then we probably would have received some public health guidelines by now. The thing is with masking mandates and everything that we have, especially within like healthcare facilities, basically all that's happening right now is that our flu seasons are being pushed to non-flu seasons. So if our regular flu season, for example, was in March or February and March, but we're like doing mandated masking and people are trying to stay out of the public, and then all of a sudden at the end of April they say, oh, you don't have to do that anymore, then obviously you're going to have this massive eruption of flu cases happen in May. That's just, you know, connecting the dots kind of thing. I'm still a firm believer that a lot of it is just fear-mongering to try to protect a class of people who have the majority of the wealth in North America right now. Well, it's true. When you look at the people who are the most vulnerable and who are actually dying to things like the COVID outbreak, then you kind of connect the dots to who's in power right now and who controls the majority of the wealth. I mean, that's just the way it is. Whether we like it or not, baby boomers do control the world in terms of wealth right now. And a lot of them will do anything in their power to make sure that they continue to exercise that control for as long as possible. And a lot of those people right now are the people that are, you know, at the top of the food chain making political and financial decisions, so they're going to do whatever is in their own self-interest before anything else. Yeah, sure. I thought I had that updated. Oh, I'm not sure if you noticed, but we got some new emotes as well. The other night I was too sick and tired to stream, but I wanted to try to do something. So I made some emojis. Funny story. The dancing emoji, the cactus, I still need to actually fix that because it's not displaying at its full size. I made that with Copilot. So, it's actually funny because Copilot and most AI products cannot create animated GIFs of any form. So what I did is that using a bunch of prompts, I drew a picture of a cactus that resembled like the cactuar from the Final Fantasy games, and then I wanted to do a test, and the test was there a way that I could get an AI chatbot to animate a photo, even though that's not what the purpose of the chatbot was. So what I did is I researched different types of animation. And then I realized when I came to frame-by-frame animations, like, you know, the old-school animations, I was looking at frame-by-frame animation. I was like, well, you know, if a chatbot can create a picture, then it can create several pictures. But does it have the capacity to reference the first frame to create the next frame, and then the next frame, and then the next frame? So what I did is I actually created a series of prompts that led the chatbot to organize out the animations for 15 frame animation, or frame by frame animation for the design that I built. Then I took each one of those frames that was created, and I brought them into PowerPoint and used each slide as its own frame and sped up the presentation speed to 0.8 seconds per frame. No, 0.08 seconds per frame, sorry. And yeah. Then I exported it as a GIF, and then I had the dancing cactus. I mean, it was honestly, it was just like a proof of concept kind of idea to see if you can make something that was built for one thing do something it was never intended to do. And the outcome was yes, with some prompting and a little bit of computer know-how. What am I doing? You could 100% do it. The only thing is you have limitations of Copilot will not animate anything or create additional images of anything that is copyright protected. That's why the cactus resembles a cactuar, but is not a cactuar. But it was a neat little project to do, and I wasn't actually going to post it as a GIF because I'm not a huge fan of using AI generated stuff because there's so much AI generated slop as is. But because of my special circumstance, like, I can't really go out and draw a cactus. But I did know how to use the tools to be able to make it do what I needed it to do. And in my mind, as long as I'm fully transparent about the AI-generated assets that I use, like, I'm not any more evil than the next person. and it was still an original creation that I came up with. It's just it was referenced by, or any references would have been taken through AI. I have a funny feeling that a lot of the assets that are created on Twitch and YouTube right now are all AI generated. People will defend tooth and nail that it's not, but that's only because there's a stigma that comes along with it. But, I mean, honestly, who's gonna come at me and be like, oh my god, you're a terrible person, you're taking jobs away from people, you're using AI, blah, 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 blah. It's like, cool. So I'm blind. Do you think that it's fair that a blind person has to pay, like, $50 for somebody to do a 15-frame little character emoji that most likely they're going to use AI to generate instead? That's my argument. Because a lot of those, like, people on Fiverr now, they're not actually artists. They are people who are just utilizing AI tools and mass-producing slop and reselling it. That's why a lot of it looks exactly the same as everything else. Like, I've seen, like, the same chibi emotes on Fiverr posted by, like, 8 different people. I knew that was gonna happen. And regardless of the way that AI is right now, there's still a huge amount of value. What am I doing? In having completely authentic and original things commissioned. If anything, it's going to increase the value of those things. Because eventually, there's so much... Like, AI can only pull its data from so many things. And... eventually everything is going to become homogenized. And everything is just going to look like everything else. So then that one artist who can make something original is like, okay, well, I can make something that's not AI generated. It'll be much easier to stand out from the crowd. And I'll be able to pay charge a premium on it because it's not AI generated. Depending on who the customer is, right? He-Man is still really slow. But I did kind of mess up that telemib, so... Oops. Never used that one before. I'm like zoning out. My brain is still very fogged and distracted. That's another reason why I'm kind of like wanting to do some practice now, because like right now I've just been waiting to hear back from my doctor's office to finalize some documents, and until I get that taken care of, I'm not going to be able to like rest or concentrate on the things that need to be done at hand. Just too many things on my mind, really. either, but I lost time because I jumped at the end there. Honestly, my Heatman and my Wily 4 is actually really good. My Airman is absolute slop. And my Crashman is slop as well. Oops. There we go. Close. I need to figure out how to fix that issue. The despawn issue. But yeah, that was a solid Woodman stage. No pun intended. I think Woodman is probably the stage that I have closest to, like, record time Woodmans. Without having to use the alternative strategy in the monkey section, which does save a significant amount of time. If not for anything, it just removes a lot of lag. But Crashman, I definitely have a lot of area to improve. Given the fact that I messed up the item too, that wasn't too bad. The problem that I have is just like stitching everything together. I mean, at the efficiency that I'm running at, I should be able to get sub 30s, no problem. But I can't ever get a run going that, you know, everything is coming together. I sometimes wonder if I did, like, all safe strats, if I would be able to achieve the sub 30 faster. Kind of just, like, sacrifice Airman stage. I say Airman stage because of all the risky strats, Airman definitely has the most. Well, Wily 4, but in all honesty, like, Wily 4, even doing risky strategies, I have no problem with. It's just movie in itself that becomes a bit of a question mark. Oh shit, I need to start powering this up. Right. Doing that thing. Like, Wally 1 is not really that big of a deal to me. Wily 2 is also not that big of a deal. What the frig? There we go. I said it, and then I jinxed myself. That might not work. Nope, we're good. Ooh, that was close. Still not doing the S drops here. For the amount of time that it saves, it's just not worth it. Wally 5 is probably my biggest time save right now. Oops. See if we can go double KO. Ah! I was a little bit off. Wily 3, I'm not really that worried about. Why do I have two safe? Okay, whatever. Unless I, you know, drop inputs. Then I'm worried about it. Why am I dropping inputs? Fuck that. Oh, I'm glad I decided to do this after all. Why didn't that work? That was weird. I don't usually do that strategy anyway, so I guess it doesn't really matter. And did it again. Yeah, whatever. Ooh, that might not work. Nope. I placed the first one too high. That is a very rare occurrence that doesn't really happen, but this is kind of what I'm talking about with Wily 4. I've never really had an issue with. Even when nerves are high, I don't find Wily 4 that bad. It's Wily 5 that I find is the most difficult to try to deal with. Nope, not that one. I misread the situation. Man, these jumps are terrible. And done. Oh, is this the one? No, it's the other one. That's the one that does that. Okay, so this is the one for practice if I get the damage transfer. Why can't I identify when that's a god pattern or not? I thought that was it there. I think it's a different god pattern for air. Hang on. Like, that's obviously not it. Like, I think it was a god pattern for Buster, but not for Wood. Like, that wasn't for anything. See, this would normally be the god pattern for Buster, but I don't think for Wood it's gonna work. No. This. Yeah, this one here that I'm at right now, this is the Wood pattern. Is when the gap is, like, closest to him. Yeah. This is, like, third worst. That one there was god pattern for Buster. Stop pulling right. Trying to force these different patterns. Yeah, that was Wood again. And yeah, that was Mega Man 3 pattern. There we go. Yeah, the pattern that I had just there, that was for Buster, that was not Wood. At most, I think you can probably get one Wood Band shot off, and it's not worth to go for. I just had to kind of reacquaint myself with which patterns were which there for a second. It is kind of interesting that you can force Crash to be so when you come out of the teleporter, it's something that I realized. When you come out of the teleporter, if you switch to air and beeline it to Crash, he will always have the same pattern as long as you kind of go through like the same like selections in the same areas, whatever. I'm guessing the frame value is always the same, where you're kind of just going through the motion. And it forces them into the same pattern every time. Which is that one. Which is actually pretty interesting because it makes things a lot more predictable. Now, if only I could do the same thing with this guy. Stop proving me wrong. Oh, I didn't hold it long enough. Is it because I'm moving forward there, I wonder? There we go. Weird. But yeah, Wily 5 is definitely the place where I'm always going to end up losing a lot of time unless I can tighten up a few things, like the energy drops and everything. Come on. Oops, messed that up. My initial mash is getting messed up. Oh. Always shy of one bubble. It should be fine, man. Oh, what? Ugh. And look. One bubble. No. Let's not do that. Wow, I've never had this much trouble with Alien. One. There we go. It's that beginning that I need to get under control. Ugh. That was too close. Good. My mash, my mash is still not that great right now. Could be way, way better. Alright, give me a few minutes. I'm gonna go run to the bathroom really quick, and then I'll start up some runs. Here we go. You know what? I might actually just do safe strats to see if I can get a consistent time going down. Oh. Yo, what's up? Yeah, what's up, Ash Zero? Hope you're having a good day. Right now we're doing some de-rusting of Mega Man 2 speedruns. Nice. I'm practicing in anticipation for an upcoming event. Oh, nice. No, it's not for Mega Man. Someone wanna, if I got a bot around, somebody hit those viewer bots. It's not for Mega Man. Junkyard Dave has an event coming up, NES Day. And I'm not sure if I'm in it yet or not. I'm waiting to hear from him. But I want to make sure that my run is polished enough to give a good show. Who's doing the Mega Man event? X4 is a game that I've only played through, I think, once as Zero, and that was pretty much it. But in terms of the games after X3, I would say it's probably one of the better ones, or the best one. I'm good at X1 and X3. X2 I haven't really tried. For some reason, I'm just really not that interested in it. Oh my god. What a terrible, terrible Flashman stage. All the classic Mega Mans, I've done Mega Man 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7. Nah, I'm used to it by now. Doing events don't really bother me anymore. I did a GDQ hotfix a couple years back, and that was in front of like 2,500 people. And after that, just events don't really bother me a whole lot anymore. It's a different kind of experience. And, you know, everybody copes with it differently, but I can definitely see doing it in front of a larger crowd would be a lot more intimidating. missed like half my shots. I haven't actually done much in terms of speed running Mega Man 2 in a long time, so it's a lot to get used to again. That's pretty cool. I always wanted to do a relay race. I really should join the Mega Man community Discord. I just have never done it. Even though I play a lot of Mega Man on my channel. That's pretty cool. We want to get some completed runs going. Oh, definitely. You get to meet a lot of really cool people when doing speed runs and relay runs and randomizers and stuff like that in special events. Buster only classic Mega Man can be really difficult. Mega Man 1 and 2 is not so bad, but everything beyond that gets a little bit iffy. Wow. That was a terrible airman fight. Dodging in Classic is a lot more difficult than it looks, because you don't really have a whole lot of time to react, and then you also have the lag frames on some bosses like Shadow Man in Mega Man 3 that throws a monkey into the wrench, or wrench and whatever. A monkey wrench into the whole thing. Then you have to start kind of to adjust your gameplay flow based around lag frames. For me, with Mega Man 1, it's Iceman stage. Those platforms drive me insane. I never really had any issues with He-Man. I never finished that X5. I played it for a little bit, but I think I only killed, like, the first 2 or 3 Reploids. I'm really not a big fan of the rescue mechanic. I kind of just like the whole capsules are hidden, find the capsules, get your armor upgrade kind of situation. Bad quick man fight. Yeah. I understand they wanted to try doing something new with Mega Man 5 and up, but I think they forced too much too quickly, and that's what made them not as successful as the predecessors. Oops. Animation lock there. Spawn. Yep, we're good. There we go. I need to tone down my my Streamlabs bots. Over the next little while, I'm going to be converting alpha of Streamlabs altogether, just because it's honestly an overloaded program that you can do in OBS with a little bit of elbow grease. Follow and thanks for stopping by. Very much appreciate that. Enjoy the dancing gird. That was bizarre. I missed it. Wow, that was actually one of my better Bubble Mans. Forgot about that delay. I wonder how many people actually stop by and realize that I'm doing these runs legally blind. Like, this telling me that I'm about to do up here. I would never try that in a run. That is way too risky. Or in a race, sorry. I have more than enough items here to get across. I didn't get Teleminute, so I lost probably about a second or so there, but everything else was okay. I don't know why I delayed there. I forgot that when he hits me, I can just take him out. Oh well. I just stood there like an idiot for like 3 seconds. No reason whatsoever. I don't even know if I changed the title. The title probably still says Suikoden. Oh, that sucks. And that sucked. Concentrating too much and trying to despawn that bird. I mean, for D-Rust run, this is actually pretty good. That was a very botched Crash Man. Release a bit sooner. Actually, would have been a really good Wally 1 if I didn't have to mess up my menu. Might have did that a bit too soon. And the Ronin's dead. So I need to pick up a lot of item 1. I'm still on par for sub 31, but man, this is grotesque. Oh. That's a... I thought for sure I was missing that jump. Wait. I forgot to jump there. Oh, we got lots of item 1. Too soon. I made the same mistake twice. I'm too quick on the trigger finger when it comes to that first bomb placement, second bomb placement. Mess that up. That was good. Oh, that was awful. Okay. Still sub 31 though, which is where it should be. Wait, what? I must have messed up one of my splits. It would have been like a 31. It would have been like, or sorry, it would have been like a 30-58 or something like that if I didn't mess up my splits. I wonder where I didn't split to. Yeah, well, thanks for the late GGs. Not too late. I messed up my split, so... But it was a sub 31. Yeah, it was, it would have been roughly around like a 30-58. I'm not sure when my splits got messed up. Not too bad for still doing derusting and everything. I need to remember that little mess-ups aren't as big as what I think they are. Like, not getting that drop there only means that I lost probably like a quarter of a second. How would I feel? I mean, that is my job in a nutshell, so I guess it really depends on the context of the job and how important it was on kind of like like, are people going to die if I don't know how to do this? Or is this something that I can learn the gist of it in the course of an hour and then BS the rest of my way while I learn the rest? Because I've worked in a healthcare facility where I've literally gotten no hours of training and just thrown into a department and expected to just work it. Kind of seems to be the norm for the healthcare system where I live. But short answer is, it'd be stressful, but it 100% depends on the profile of the job. Do you have to adhere to any quotas or anything? Because that's where the stress comes from. It's not even a matter. Then, you know, I would just kind of take my time, one step at a time, ease my way through it, and pray that the customer or client is understanding enough that you're using a program that's foreign to you and to give you the opportunity to get through it. Because after you do it a few times, it'll be fine. Yo, what's up, Samurai? Oh, I can see that being an issue. The problem is, and that I learned the hard way. Exactly. It kind of causes that kind of an issue to start popping up. The more efficient the way that I've learned is that the more efficient that you are at your job, the more expendable you make everyone else, including yourself. It's sad to say, but we live in a cultural society these days that you're punished for doing a good job. Right. I've learned in my experience, that even though I could probably work... Yeah, that can be frustrating. But yeah, that's kind of the situation that... Because when I first started working here... Right. Does it come with any kind of pay increase or promotion or anything like that, or just more work? You don't mind working right now. It's not about, like, whether you mind working or not. It's efficient working. And how much of a toll it's going to take on, like, your physical and mental health. Over that period of time. Yeah, it's definitely a stressful situation. I mean, at my work, I'm kind of in a similar one. Yeah. And with a lot of that stuff, especially in sales, because, like, I've worked both sales and healthcare, they're remarkably similar. Especially, like, retail. A lot of the stuff you just won't know until you encounter it. They can give, like, a couple of scenarios that may end up happening through the course of training or doing your position, but, you know, you can't account for everything. Basically, at some point, you need the customer needs to be patient with you to familiarize yourself with the situation, the scenario, and the tools that you have at your disposal. But it seems like it's more common nowadays than ever before that companies are getting in this really bad habit of investing money in tools, but not investing in the education to use those tools. They're just expecting that they're just going to buy them and that the staff is going to know how to use them. And that's actually one of the big issues that I have and why I'm off work right now, is because of a very similar scenario where we were given this immensely massive, like, provincial-wide tool that no one has ever used before. We got about a day and a half worth of training, maybe one day, and we were given, like, 10 scenarios, which only covered, like, 5 to 10% of the scope of our total work. And as a result, they're like, oh yeah, well, learn the rest on your own. And yeah, no, it's not a good situation to be in. Employers need to realize that employees are not machines and we can't learn everything right away. And the ones who are stupid enough to think, oh yeah, well, you should have learned this in university or college, it's like, how I went to college 10 years ago. This program is only 7 years old. Upper management, more so than ever, seems like they lack a lot of common sense when it comes to deployment of these kind of things. Lost my bearing there for a second, didn't realize I was at full health. I mean, if you had... all you can do is just let your manager or your director know, like, the issues that you're having, and just be like, hey, I want to be able to do this work, but unless you give me... Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like, obviously, if you can't work the task because you don't have full access to the tool, then there's no way you can do the work that's expected of you. It doesn't make any sense. I'm kind of the same, you know, mentality. Like, I want to work. I want to continue working. I want to be productive. But if you're not going to give me the tools or the education to use those tools to do that work, then it's pointless. It's basically just saying, like, well, the tool has the potential to finish the job, but you need to figure out how to unlock its potential. And then they hand you a screwdriver and say, go make a car. Or going to somebody and say, here's fire, make me bread. Like, yeah, it's a necessary tool to be able to do the job, but yeah. Well, that's the other thing too, right? That's a motivation and personnel problem at that point. When there's no incentive to do your job better, then people are always just going to do the bare minimum now. But so many people have, you know, gone above and beyond to try to do everything in their power to impress a company just to get shit on or let go, that people are rewarded more now for doing less more than ever. Because if you're good at your job and you're efficient and you do everything else, there's no bonuses, there's no recognition, there's just more work. And if there's not more work, then you end up, like, causing people to lose their jobs, because you're like, oh, well, your job is redundant, because employee A is doing as much work as employee B and C, so that means we can let employee B or C go, whoever's the less efficient. And then we'll just give all the responsibilities to employee A. And this is capitalism and corporate America at its finest right now. Yeah, I'm resetting this. Well, See, I can't go into too much about what's going on with me at work. Because, well, VODs and everything. But, it's becoming way too common for, instead of, especially in, like, unionized positions, for the corporation to basically turn around and say, well, we can't fire anybody, so all we're going to do is we're just going to keep on overloading the people that we do have until they just resign of their own accord, so that way we can kind of get around all this other bullshit. Yeah, it's moving the goalposts. Is essentially what they're doing. Because when a goalpost is met, yeah, there's no sense of worth or efficiency when the goalpost keeps on moving. Why is the average being lower? Good question. Oh yeah, no. Exactly. I mean, you could take that to management and say, hey, here are the numbers from such and such dates, here are the numbers for these dates, like, and try to negotiate some kind of raise or promotion would be the next step. Or if you find yourself in a situation where you're feeling like burned out, then you could be like, hey, I'm doing the work of like 3 people, can you like hire on another person to help with the work? Oh, it's pretty much like grading on a curve, right? Nope. Hey, what's up, Flag? Why is the sound coming from my speakers? Weird. How went the derusting?
Alert! An incoming raid has been detected.
we will keep you. We'll give you more things to do to make sure that we're utilizing your full potential. Basically, is all they're saying. But I mean, that kind of thinking for upper management is how people get burned out. That's not too bad. How long has it been since you've actually done some Mega Man 2 speedruns? I mean, you've been doing literally everything but Mega Man 2 for the last, like, almost a year from what I've seen. Main reason why I have pulling Mega Man 2 out of retirement right now is because of Dave's upcoming event. Make sure that I'm in top notch for when that happens. That was bullshit. I'm signed up for it. We're not really sure what's happening with it. It may... Yeah, I'm just not sure. Still waiting to hear from Dave on whether or not my run got accepted or not. Or if it's going to be turned into like a race or something. All I can say right now is that I am signed up for it. And I really hope this is a really good quick man fight because my health is really low. Okay, well, that wasn't too bad. Stage is crap, though. I can tell you one thing, after doing like X and X3 for speedruns, this just seems downright slow. Actually not too bad of Metal Man stage so far. Oh, now it's bad. I opened my big mouth. Relearning the muscle memory and everything is difficult, and getting my hands used to the NES brick again is also difficult. I've been spoiled by the Super Nintendo controller. And a PlayStation 5 controller for when I'm doing Suikoden. But, I mean, it's an RPG, there's not really a whole lot of hand action going on there. But yeah, remembering item placement and menus. Look at all those things I want to curse my run. Keep slow going through there. That was a pretty okay Bubble Man stage. About average for me. That energy pickup kind of screwed me up. Ugh, 3 bubbles. But yeah, I haven't really put in much effort to Mega Man 2 in probably around the same amount of time, about 6 months. My first run of the day was like a 30-58, so not too bad. Placement. Good placement. Messing up the tally minute. Ooh. I mean, my item 2s and everything are fine, but my health is definitely not. Yeah, I'm behind by about like 2 seconds right now. My health is very scary low. I actually don't even think I can take a hit from Heat Man. I'm gonna have to play very cautiously. Might be able to take 1 hit. Not gonna chance it though. Rather take the time loss. Right now, I'm kind of more or less in practicing for an event, so focus more on sustainability and consistency than I am on going the absolute fastest that I can possibly go. I mean, I'm still going to try to go the fastest I can go, but I'm not going to be like, I'm willing to sacrifice a run to do it kind of thing. That was scary. Somehow I may actually come out of this better than the last run, though. Man. Yeah. That fight could have been better, but the stage was eerily okay. I'm always gonna lose time on Woodman just because I'm basically running against like a perfect Woodman. Perfect for me, anyways. We're taking a long way. Wow, we're taking a super long way. Wow. You swear I've never done Crashman before. Right? Wow. Another one? Yeah, of course. Crash stage being crash stage indeed. Oh, that's gonna put me deep into the red. Yo, have a good day at work. Like, thanks for the good luck. The only way I'm pulling a PB out of this is if I get, like, the Goddess of God, Wally 5s. Because right now I'm already behind by 12 seconds. And I know that I have at least 10 or 12 seconds that I can save in Wily 5. Run is definitely far from over, but... eh. Ooh, I didn't get that. Uh-oh. Close. I placed that really low. And I messed that up. But I ended up saving a bunch of item 3 there that I can use in Wily 4, so... rob Peter to pay Paul kind of situation. A little bit sloppy, but made it through. Pretty sure I just lost like another 2 seconds or so there from having to climb that ladder. All item counts, there it goes. Let's not mess this up this time. Wily too. Alright. Two is down. Might have saved a little bit of time there. Oh, there goes gold. Bad Wily 3. Really bad Wily 3. What? Double screen scroll, are you kidding me? Ah, that's unfortunate. I should have just stuck with using item 1. Forgot my menu. Oh no. Yeah, that Lolly Force sucked. Still can do sub 31 out of this, I'm sure. Oh, don't learn from that. That was awful. That was... I don't know how to explain how bad that was. Yeah, it's definitely not gonna be a sub 31 anymore. I'd say like a 31-20 is probably what I can pull out of this. I dream of sub 30. Yeah, I'd say probably around a 31, 31:20, 31:30. Congrats on the sub 34. A lot of people don't realize how difficult this game is with zipless. Let's see if we can get at least a middle alien. No mid alien. Thanks for the GG's Ancient Slayer, and yeah, scrolled off. And Benface, and where's the other one? Shield. That's Dahlia Shield. Thanks for the GG's, guys. Very much appreciate that. Now that I have a few more people in here, I'll just announce again that we do have a couple of new emojis. Make sure to check them out if you are interested in emojis. I still have a lot of D-Rust to do. That Wily 4 was awful. Wily 5 was also awful. I mean, 2 deaths, every death in this game is like a 28-second time loss, no matter how you look at it. That's a very minimum. If I didn't die at all, that would have been like a 30-30 run, roughly. Well, at least I wasn't far off when I submitted to Junkyard Dave saying that I was between 30 and 32 minutes for my runs. I'll be very glad when this flu is gone. Still waiting to see if I have an appointment booked yet. That doesn't seem like it. Just had to check my junk folder to find out. Yeah, what's this for Dash? No appointments made yet. How long have I been streaming for? I'm gonna have to take a break here soon and get something to eat. How did Donkey Kong Country go after Red Dash? Right on. It was actually a pretty alright run until we hit Crashman stage, and then died twice in the Wily stages. I haven't had a coffee in a while. We'll probably do one more run, and then I'll probably call that good for the day. Is it DKC 1 you're doing, or is it 2? Or, sorry, 1 or 3? Or is it like a ROM hack? Ah, gotcha. I think the DKC 2 is like the hardest of the 3, right? I know 3 is really grindy because you need the coins to get the vehicles and stuff. It's a bad flash anyways. I'm glad I got the issues with my RetroTink fixed. I still don't even understand how that setting changed on its own. I was very terrified I was going to have to buy a new RetroTink. Right, that's what I saw you playing the other day. You were playing through as the Snake Buddy. I'll be really happy once, like, summer comes around and things, like, warm up a little bit. We've had, like, a really wet spring so far, and, like, outside it's just been, like, it's, like, rain every single day for, like, the last 2 weeks. Right, you showed me Funky Skip. I didn't realize that the ROM hack creator was actually hanging out, though. That's pretty cool. Good Flashman. If I could get used to the input delay with emulation, I would love to use auto split. That's pretty cool. DKC 3 is the only one that I've actually played through. I don't even think I finished it. Funny thing is somewhere in my parents' house, there's a complete and boxed copy of DKC 3 that nobody knows what happened to it. I really wish I knew where it was. It was the first game that I realized that keeping the original packaging was probably in my best interest. So I made sure to take special care of it. Also, a completing box copy of Pokemon Red should be somewhere at my parents' place as well. Nice. Still need to do Lufia too. Damn it. I need to get the practice hacks for Mega Man X. That's what I really need to do. Good airman fight. Well, I finished Lufia 1 while it was in spring last year. So I definitely need to do Lufia 2. Right now I'm in the process of going through Suikoden still. Once I get everything figured out with work and my medical leave, I'll probably start steamrolling my way through a bunch of like RPG type games and everything. Well, where I'm to in Suikoden 1 right now is I had to go to Sonya prison and bust out the guy there that can make the potion that will make my army invincible to the spores that the Empire is using to protect their castle. Either. Fantastic. Oh, that was way too far. Gonna have to hope for another really clean quick man fight. Because I think I can only take like one body hit from him. Well, that's as clean as you can get. That is literally like God pattern Flashman when he does that. Unfortunately, the stage sucked, so I didn't really save a whole lot of time on that one. Yay! I canceled the animation this time. Good Metal Man stage. Bad Metal Man fight. I overjumped by a little tiny bit. Still don't understand why I have sound coming out of my speakers and out of my monitor. Come on, man. No, I know what it is. I switched over to using my headset while I already had Streamlabs open. And when the audio device changed, it didn't change in Streamlabs. I've had it happen before. The only way to fix it is to close Streamlabs and reopen it. Yeah. Close. What am I doing? I burned an extra tick. That burned an extra tick too. I need to be careful. And one's dead. Come the fuck on, man. Pretty sure I don't have enough item 2 to make it across the gap. I did. But I've lost so much time here. Which is weird, because usually heat is where I make back up a lot of time. But it's not over till it's over. At least he gave me a good pattern. Still ahead by almost 2 seconds. Thought I should have been ahead coming out of here by at least 7 or 8 seconds. But the fact that I'm still seeing that much green on D-Rust runs is very hopeful. What the f- Wow. 1, 2, 3, jump. Almost. Damn rabbit butt. Yeah, I messed up menuing again. Too close. Way too close. But I'm in the red now. Oh well. It is possible to get back into the green through Crash, but I need to have a really good stage. Nope, that ain't happening. Yeah, I knew that wasn't gonna work. Man, I'm messing up these climbs, something fierce. Still not as bad as my last Crash Man, though. But I'm still gonna be coming out of here with, like, with a plus, like, 14, between 14 and 16 on the clock, I'd say. Plus 10. I actually came in better than last, better than the last run. So I'm only behind by 10 seconds. That's the difference between a good and a bad Wily 5. You guys will be seeing me playing a lot more Mega Man 2 over the next few days. I knock the rust off and whatnot. Which I'm sure will please a bunch of people because, I mean, the majority of the people in my community started watching while I was doing my Mega Man 2 run. Okay, so we're not eating the tick in the next stage. I don't know how I always managed to grab the side of the ladder there. I always let go too late. I'm afraid of missing the dragon, like that the fireball is going to pass through, but I overestimate how fast the fireball actually moves. Should have enough items here. One tick of item 2, that's all I need. 2 ticks would be ideal, but... Sorry if you guys hear me clear my throat. I'm still getting over stuff. May actually finish 3 runs in one sitting today. That's really good compared to what I usually get. But I'm kind of prioritizing finishing runs over anything else right now. So if I mess up, unless it's like a really bad mess up, I keep going. What? That was stupid. Also, like a 45-second time loss. Why only 3, hey? You bastard. Well. See if we can get some gold. Not this stage. We'll still go for sub 31, though I don't really know if it is possible given the that death. A death in Wily 3 is really bad. There's a lot of screens to have to redo. Well, that's it. I don't know how I ended up with the extra item ones. Oh, that sucked. I second-guessed myself and paid the price. Should be fine. Maybe not. Cool. Yeah, those things were not supposed to come out until after the transition, but he started firing them during the transition, which is what killed me there. Yeah, this is gonna be another... This is gonna be a 31:45, I'd say. But, once again, 2 more deaths that were in this run that should not have been there. Hey, check and see if it's still raining out. So without the deaths, yeah, this would have been like a 30, like a 30-15-ish. That's what, 30-45? 31-36. Pretty much the exact same time that I just had. No, consistency, I guess. Yeah, those 2 extra deaths and a really bad Wily 4. Well, one death was in Wily 4, so yeah. If I took those out of the equation, it would have been like a 30... Yeah, like a 30-19-ish or so. Just need to do the cleanup work. That's a message. too bad for a D-Rust day, I have to say. I mean, we were green all the ways up until wood, and like that heat man was awful. If I could have pulled off even like a normal heat man, I would have came out of there with like minus 9, minus 10 on the counter, which would have put me just into the green going to Wily 1. But yeah, Wally 1, I lost a bit of time because I had to do the double placement for item 2. Wily 2. Why did I lose time in Wily 2? I honestly don't know why last time not Wily 2. Wily 3, I lost 30 seconds from a death. So Wily 4. How was I only plus 9, but still had a death in Wily 4? Oh no, I didn't have a death in Wily 4. That was the previous run. I just had a really bad Boo Beam fight. And then, yeah, plus 45 in Wily 5. Like, if I take my averages into consideration, this should have been at least a minute and 15 seconds faster than what was recorded, which would have put me at a, yeah, like a 31-20-ish, or 30-20. I just gotta clean out those deaths. But I'm still landing firmly between my estimate of 30 to 32, which is exactly where I want to be right now. Any lower and it would be perfect, but otherwise, yeah. Let's raid on out to FLEKE, the real Flecke, who's doing some Mega Man 5 speedruns, or learning it. Oops. The real. Okay. So we're gonna raid on out to Flecke, and that's gonna be it for me for today. For right now, if I have the energy later, I might pop on again. If I do, I might do some Suikoden or play around with some Castlevania Bloodlines. Hope everybody has a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all in the next one. Later.